I spoke to this crowd, and you know, and I don't mean to. I don't know what the hell I'm going to say, but bottom line is, the first person was a very boring speaker. That's all I'm going to say. They were very boring, and you literally felt the crowd go like, "Oh my God!" Like people sinking in their seats, you know, checking their cell phones. They're like, and I was like, you know, I was like the horse at the starting gate, like, "Come on, get me up there, get me up there," and you know, and of course, it was almost like because this person was so boring, who now, I'm going to be somewhere like saying, Tom Malloy called this person boring. I'm not going to say who that is. And I went up and I went, "Hey, how are you?" And I went, you know, I went nuts. I made the crowd say, "Hey, how are you doing?" "Great." I made them say that back to me, you know, and everybody's waking up, you know. And I really mean that. There was literally people that were like, you know, they're like, "What?" And that's a good thing, you know. I speak to kids. Let me get out of this corner for a second. I speak to kids. Wow, I just wanted to stand in this white dot for a second. All right, is this like a trap door? Like if you're the bad student, they just, you know, like just push a button and these open up or something. Wow, very cool. Okay, when I speak to kids, I wanted to do this up here because I'll speak to students about anti-bullying. Or years ago, it was about, you know, trying to stay positive and off drugs and things like that, which I've done my whole life. And when I come out and I speak to these kids, I mean, by the way, there's a group of 1,000 kids or something like that, and they're 6th, 7th grade. I come out on the stage, and they introduce me, and they say, "Here's Tom Malloy. He's here to speak to you for an hour about anti-bullying." And I come out, and I don't make eye contact with any of the kids, and I say, "Here to speak to you for an hour on anti-bullying and what anti-bullying means to you." And I literally, I'll go on with this for like 40 seconds, and you could feel the crowd die. They were literally like, "Oh no, we have to listen to this idiot for 1 hour." You know what I mean? They're thinking, "I'm not going to listen to this moron." And I bring that up because, well, by the way, and then I turn it around. Then I say, the first question I need to ask you is, you know, and I'm still doing it boring, you know, and then I say, "How long would you listen to me if I spoke that way the whole time?" And the kids go, "Ah," you know what I mean? And then in their head they're going, "Wait, who is this guy?" You know? And, you know, today I got a fantastic introduction and then I had to sit there watching myself. But, you know, you see, you know who I am, and I obviously am loud and energetic, just a little bit. And you have this little dialogue in your head, right? You always have your dialogue in your head. There's little voices saying, "I'm going to do this, do that," you know. "That girl's pretty. This, you know what I need food." Whatever it is going on in your head, right? There's always dialogue going on in your head. I want to bring that up because later on I want to come back to that and tell you something very important about that dialogue in your head and what that means. You have it going on right now, this dialogue in your head. And that is actually extremely important in life. And we'll talk to you about that in a little bit. But when I talk about these kind of global things that'll help you in any film capacity, and later on, if you say, "Okay, you know, I had a question that pertains," you could try to make them specific to Bollywood, and I'll try to answer them that way. There was a guy that existed in the United States named John Cassavetes. Does anybody know who that is? John? Any film people, film buffs here? No? Okay. John Cassavetes was an actor and then became a director in the United States. And he created what is called independent film in the United States, right? Meaning he was the first guy. Up to then it was studios. Studio had to fund it, and this is the way you had to do it. You had to go these steps. And he was the first guy to say, you know, "Let's make these lights a little better. These lights are great." And said, you know, "Let's just film this and make something good happen." You know, and he was a legend, and filmmakers in the independent world just will always say that this is the reason that they're, you know, that the genre even exists of independent cinema because of this guy. And he had a saying, and I always like to say this in my speech because I have it printed on my wall. I have a big picture of him on my wall, and I have his saying. And one of his quotes is, he says, "I like to act in films, I like to direct them, I like to shoot them, I like to be around them." It's the feel of it that I love. It's something I respect. It says it doesn't make any difference if it's a crappy film or a good film. Anybody who can make a film, I already love. And I'll tell you, that quote is so dear to me because, I mean, look at these, and you guys want to be in film. And I say you guys because there's mostly guys, but I mean that as a group kind of thing. You guys and gals, the two gals here, want to be in film. And it's, again, honored to be here and talk to you guys, and hopefully we can answer some questions. Okay, so let me tell you these principles that I'm going to say as far as putting together a good movie. Not saying that you have to create your own movie and finance it. And I wrote like the book on film finance in the United States. But these concepts apply to any project that you're going to approach globally. So we'll go over these and I'll tell you why. The first thing, and it seems to me that this could be at one point was a problem in Bollywood. And this killer, meaning that's kind of Americanized, but that means for this, we're talking about awesome. You know what I mean? Like very good script. Killer script. Okay, not the script where someone kills a lot of people. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a fantastic script. We call this killer script. Okay? And I know for, you know, the Bollywood actors and the directors we talked to is that for a while that didn't mean much. You know, the script was like, wait, who you have starring in it? You know what I mean? It wasn't like, what's the story? And that has to be a change. This has to be something where that story, when we talk about globalization, has to be something that, wow, that's a really great story, you know? I spoke to screenwriters a couple of weeks ago in Burbank at this thing called the Great American Pitch Fest. There's 2,500 people there, screenwriters. And some of them I said, tell me your script. And they couldn't even say, well, it's about, you know, this guy and a girl, and there's animals that the girl raises, and the guy works in advertising. She lives in her apartment, and her mom has cancer, and her dad is not around in her life. So the other guy, I mean, literally, it was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what the story is. You know what I mean? What is the story of Slumdog Millionaire? Guy, you know, has this long-time love with a girl and reconnects. You know, that's really it. And it's set to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is the background set. You know, so all it is a very traditional love story in a way. Guy loves girl, you know, long-lost love, and he reconnects with her. But it's set to this game show, and there's the peril that he puts him in, and it's a recounting of all the actions that led up to that. So this is something that you have to keep in mind, is that it doesn't matter if the story's been done before. Love stories have been done before. In fact, in Bollywood cinema, love stories have been done many times, you know. And you kind of need to take a simple love story and just shift it, or take a simple action and just shift it. There was a fantastic short film that one of my friends made. It was called I Love Sarah Jane. You can watch it on YouTube, maybe 10 minutes short film. And it's about a little kid who's got a crush on Sarah Jane. She's a famous actress now. I've never met her because she's a lot younger than us, but she's like Alice in Wonderland. She was the star of Alice in Wonderland. And it's a little kid has a crush on a girl. You know, maybe he's 10, she's 13, right? And he's just it's nothing. You know what I mean? That's the story. But it's set in the world of the zombie apocalypse. Like everybody's dead. There's only zombies running. You know what I mean? So you have this 10-minute film, and at the end of the film, all it's about is the fact that he really thinks this girl is cute. You know what I mean? And it's fantastic. And it won all these awards because it had that shift. Does that make sense? Right? Okay.